Welcome back, traders, to the Trader Roundup, where highly attuned, like-minded traders come together to become 1% stronger each and every day. In today's episode of Mindset Mondays, I have the honor and the pleasure to introduce you all to the SFT team. Today, we're going to be discussing what went down this weekend. So I was kindly invited by the SFT team, by Riz, to Nottingham, where we had a traders bootcamp. And so we're going to talk to you guys about what happened, what went down, and what sort of mindset breakthroughs we had. We're going to be discussing brotherhood, honor, discipline. So yeah, stay tuned, and let's start bringing in my co-host. Let's start bringing in all the guests.
What's up? What's going on? Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Oh, afternoon, London time.
Does it? Yeah, just turned afternoon.
All right, guys.
Afternoon,
so
everyone.
If each of you can just do a quick sort of 30-second, 1 minute introduction. Go ahead, Usman. You're at the top, and we'll work our way down.
Awesome. Yeah. So my name is Usman Noah. I'm French, living in UK for the past 6 years. Sorry, I have no voice after this weekend, so I'm struggling to talk. But yeah, I've been trading for the past now 4 or 5 years. I don't remember, in 2019, around that. So yeah, I'm also part of Ray's team, and he's here also. Yeah, basically.
Cool. Thanks very much.
I'll go next. My name is Krishna. Thank you, Rodrigo and Kyle, for hosting this. I've been trading for about 3.5 years now. I've known Riz for the longest out of that time. I think I've worked closely with Riz as part of the Viper group in the past as a mentor as well. Yeah, I was here for Saturday over this weekend. Couldn't make it for Sunday, unfortunately, but yeah, it was great. So that's me.
My name's Riz. I'm Noah's twin brother. We look very similar now. But yeah, obviously I host the podcast, partnered with Paladin and Omar with SFT, put together this boot camp. Want to do things differently, of course, which obviously we'll get into, so I'll leave that to it. But yeah, that's who I am.
Yo guys, what's going on? My name's Ads. I've been trading for the last 3 years. I've been profitable for about the last 1.5 years. Got to know Riz, Paladin, a lot of the SFT team only in the last few months. And then just literally the last weekend, managed to meet everybody. Great experience. And yeah, looking forward to it.
All right, what's up, guys? I'm Maurice. I'm part of Viper group as well. Krishna and Riz actually used to be my mentors. Been trading for about 2.5 years now, and at my kind of breakthrough this year only in March, and joined this weekend as well. And it was a great weekend with everyone here. And also Rodrigo, thank you for letting me be here. Thank you.
Welcome.
Hi guys, my name's Ali. Thank you, Rodrigo, for inviting us all here. I've been part of the Viper group since, well, earlier this year, but I was originally part of Viper group mid last year. I've known Riz and Noah since Mayfair days. And yeah.
Welcome.
Oomzi, you're up.
Oh, sorry. Hey guys, yes, my name is Umar, known as Oomzi FX. So yeah, I've been trading for just over 3 years since I actually started Forex, and yeah, the last year or so has been a game changer for me. So yeah, we've been leveling up, and yeah, just every day trying to grow and be better. And yeah, I was at the boot camp as well. Thanks for the invite, Riz. And yeah, just met a lot of great people, great traders. of, I'd say, like, so very good energy overall.
Yeah, 100%. So, Riz, tell us what was the SFT Bootcamp all about? What was your vision with it? Yeah, tell the audience what it was all about.
100%. So obviously, coming into the prop firm space in general is our mindset. We want to do things differently. And as you know, in terms of the sort of challenges, for example, there's a bit of a parameter that you're kind of stuck within for the model to continue working. So there's not much you can do on that front. So like, what can we do? Because obviously we are traders and we came into this for the traders. And this was one of our key aspects. So this was more like a test run, if you will. This is more like a test run for what we're going to do, bigger and even better in the future. So I was going to meet up with some of my guys anyway and do just a general meetup. That's what we normally do, just kind of meet up and just network and chill. But we've done conferences before. You've been to those sort of conferences. You've been to sort of like in-person events, if you will, where you might be get a conference hall out and might have a projector and everything, but everyone kind of is flooded with technicals all the time. So for us, it was kind of like, what can we do differently? And therefore, that's where the bootcamp idea came in to, have a hit workouts, do the boxing. Then we chilled. Yeah. It was a bit harder because everyone was aching and in pain by then. But then we did the paintballing the day after. And it was just to mix things up, face adversity, do things as a group. Trading is so lonely, trading is so isolated, just you and your screens. And if anything, if you're lucky enough to be in a community, then okay, maybe just messaging over Discord, for example, or at most, maybe you jump on Zoom. But nothing beats in-person experiences. Nothing beats that energy, especially when you get around people who have the same vision, same drive, same motivation. And sometimes when people come to the meetups, and this is the big part of it, is that people will come to the bootcamp, for example, and they may have been feeling deflated before, may have been struggling in their personal life or in trading. The energy they can get from being around the like-minded people and seeing each other, push each other in the workouts, for example, but either of them, or even go into something like boxing, which they may not have done before, but to embrace that chaos and recognize the comparables of trading and boxing, for example, and just adversity as a whole. So that was the mindset behind it, motivation behind it. And like I said, it's like more of a warm-up and like a test run, if you will, what we plan to do in the future. So it was incredible.
Yeah, no, I had so much fun. And you're right, it's such a big difference between, because we're constantly behind the screens. And so for me, being surrounded by other traders, talking trading, talking mindset, for me, it has such an impact on myself. It has impact on other traders, because I was getting questions about, because every trader's at a different level, different stage. And I've been trading for 9 years now, and I specialize in the mental edge. So for me to be able to share my experiences, give advice, that for me gives me a lot of fulfillment. But what was the biggest? The biggest thing for me is the brotherhood. It's just there's not enough of that, and I think that it's such a important thing to have, to surround yourself with other men, express yourself, having that masculinity, having that discipline, everyone there working hard. Like when I turned up to the boxing, like I had to push myself physically, mentally, because it was my first time doing boxing, and first time getting punched. But I thought to myself, rah, okay, I'm gonna go step into the ring straight away. So that's when me and Yuri's, we had a little sparring session. And I know you took it easy on me, but I'll tell you what, it was so inspirational. It inspired me to start some sort of martial arts, some sort of boxing, because I realized that as a man, you need to know how to defend yourself. You need to know how to use your body, how to breathe, because it is important to know how to defend yourself. So so a question for the rest of the team, like what was your sort of biggest takeaway when it during the boot camp itself? What was like the key highlight Usman, Noah, if you want to say something, what was your sort of big takeaway?
I think for me the big takeaway, it like you said, it was like a kind of a Navy SEAL kind of boot camp. It was where basically everyone needed to be at their high performance to be able to do the high intensity training and also the boxing training. And one of the stuff that I personally learned, because I took some time yesterday night before sleeping just to be grateful of this whole experience and try to learn from it, is that at a certain point we were all so exhausted after the high intensity training that we started to push ourselves. So in a certain way we were joking about who is carrying the boat, like they don't know me, son. We were doing this, but in this certain point we were laughing about that, but the whole purpose was to push others, and somewhere and somehow that's what I loved, the brotherhood, the fact that the Navy SEAL doesn't engage people who has massive muscles. They don't take in their team or in their army the guys the most smartest. They take those who somehow in some way can find the energy at the end of 3, 4, 5 hours of workout to help the others. And that was the whole purpose of at least my learning from this weekend. The fact that after this we went to the boxing and same mentality of pushing yourself. We did sparring, we did shadow boxing, we did cardio, etc. We were all exhausted, but somehow we were all fucked, and we were all trying to push ourselves. And the fact that we can all and I'm gonna finish on this, and the fact that and the fact that we could all push ourselves in our limits, that was for me one of my biggest learning. The fact that the brotherhood was there, and whenever you are at 10%, if your friend is at 10%, the other friend is at 10%, somehow we can all end up at 100%, and go to the limits. So yeah, that was my learning yesterday.
Definitely. One thing I just want to say quickly is that Noah's going to get us in trouble. That was nowhere near like a marine training. That was like a drop in the ocean. Yeah, that was like nothing. That was like a pre warm up for a marine training, just in case people out there go like, these guys have no idea. We're building our way there slowly, until we get to a point where we do that, and then we will all retire and never work out again. So yeah.
So let's start hearing some funny stories then. What who's got a funny story about on the weekend?
You know, Noah talks about pushing everyone else, helping everyone else, right? Noah needs to be pushed. Noah's the one who needs to be pushed the most. I remember going in before boxing, right? Me and Noah have been trash talking each other for a while now about stepping into the ring and having a little sparring session. Noah even threatened to send me to the hospital. I was thinking to myself on the way up to Nottingham, like this might be a reality. He's almost double my weight. If I get in the ring with him and he lands one, I might end up in the hospital. We turn up to the boxing gym, and I literally had to plead, Noah, come on, let's get in the ring, please. Let's go, let's box, let's spar. Noah was like, no, man, why does everyone want to fight me? I don't want to fight anyone. Ultimately, we got it in, and it was good. But that's Noah for you, man. That's Noah. He's a little. He fronts.
Hey, I'm just gonna say something because people doesn't know. We went to the gym at the morning with Morris. We did a 1 hour and a half session, and after this, we went to the high intensity training, and after this, we went to the boxing.
What did I say to you, Noah? I said to you can't use that as an excuse because you decided to go, pretending like you didn't know we had a HIIT workout and boxing. I just want to say one thing as well with the clip of Noah. Noah posted a clip yesterday of us boxing, and he just posted the quick 30 seconds that he stayed in the ring. As soon as that clip was finished, he gave up and he said, I can't do this no more. I can't. Like Umzi as well. Umzi did the same thing. Yeah, both of them are the exact same. So.
Yeah, do you know what Noah did with me? You know what Noah did with me? We were sparring,
this sounds like a precursor to round two.
We were about 1 minute into the round, and he stepped on my shoe, and my shoe came off. Before I could even put my shoe back on, Noah's out the ring. He took it as an excuse. He left. So what's going on?
Well, it was good though because we went to the workout. then we went to the hit, and then we went to the boxing, and like usually after that, people will say, "Oh shit, man, I can't do anything," and but because of the energy with the people in that room, the only thing I was thinking about, man, I'm so grateful that I could do this, that I had the energy, that I'm able to move like this. And then we went down that stairs, and on the stairs there was like the elevated thing for people with wheelchairs, like, and that was the moment where I realized, man, imagine if you were sitting in a wheelchair, you could not, or you're not able to do all that.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, the
really
thing
cool.
is, when you're in a huge group of people, right, you don't want to be the guy that's like, no, I can't do that,
Exactly.
or I'm not going to do this. Like I didn't have the ability to be there, unfortunately, because with all the travel and stuff. But you know, we kind of had our own little trader retreat with me, Kit, ICT Concepts, Omar, and Paladin
Mhm.
2 weeks ago, right? And it was almost the same type of environment, right? I took them to a CrossFit workout in the morning. It was extremely difficult. Usually, people are done for like 2 or 3 days after that. You know, did an ice bath and then took them up a really steep hike. They thought it was going to be a nature walk. It was like a really tough hike, and they were like, "I'm not having fun right now." I was like, "That's not the point. The point is not to have fun. Like the point is to make it to the top and feel accomplished, right? And not quit halfway through, because your mind wants to go to that dark place and be like, I want to quit. I'm sure you guys experienced the same thing this weekend. So like, I think it's so important that these types of trader retreats are viewed as like a way to sharpen your mental edge, right? Because your mind is going to go in that dark place and you're going to want to quit, like Noah. I was just kidding. Yeah, you're going to want to quit, but it's about like facing that adversity and just powering through it, right? So like, what was your guys' experience of that? Like, did you all want to quit at some point, or you just kept going because you were having fun? Like, what was the case?
Honestly, I remember because I was most excited to specifically for the boxing part,
Yeah.
right? To get
So
into the ring
for me personally,
especially.
before the hit workout.
Dimsy, do you want to carry on, bro?
Yeah. Sorry, my connection. So, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good. Go for it, bro.
Yeah. So I was saying so before the hit workout, I was already sore because I did 3 sessions this week and I just got back to the gym. So I was really dreading it, right? And then when I got there, I got motivated, but I had like no energy. So still did it. So I thank Riz for that. And then, you know, I think one of the bigs for me for this boot camp in general was just the fact that, you know, I feel like we out of our comfort zone, whether or not you think you did, like we did, you know, because if you have no energy and you're still pushing through, you're taking yourself out of your comfort zone, right?
Yeah.
And that's one thing that you need to always do, even in your trading. You need to be out of your comfort zone, right? So I think that's one of the big where you just keep pushing, and that just goes for life, not just for working out, right? So I think it was really good motivation and really good sort of mindset reset in a sense as well for a lot of us. That's how I felt anyway.
100%. And I think, you know, I think it was Kyle who just mentioned when you're in a group, you don't want to be the one guy who's the one who's like, I can't do it, or, you know, I need a rest. And I remember, as I was mentioning earlier, I was really, really excited and, you know, super hyped up for the boxing side of things, where I kind of underestimated how hard that hit workout was actually going to be. And in my mind, I was just like, yeah, we'll do a quick half an hour hit workout and I'll be pumped for boxing. I'll be ready. And I remember like literally 15, 20 minutes into this hit workout, I was thinking, yo, boxing after this is going to be, that's going to be a mission. And I remember there was a small part of me in the back of my mind that was thinking, yo, just take it easy here, and then you'll have more energy for boxing, and then you'll be able to push yourself and perform in boxing, which is what I was most excited for. And honestly, in that moment, even though there was around, 15, 20 of us in that room, and that accountability aspect is there, the fact remains that when you're in that situation, when everyone's working out so hard and pushing themselves, most of your individual attention is on you, right? So I remember Riz was directly across me around the whole circuit, but I knew that he was also thinking about himself. He wasn't looking at me thinking Krishna's not pushing himself or he's taking it easy. So realistically, I had to hold myself accountable even in that situation, right? I didn't want to, let myself down. Because I knew that even if I do save up the energy and end up performing in boxing, it might look great and I might feel good, but in the back of my mind, I'm gonna know I didn't push myself as much as I could have, and I think that's what really matters the most, you know.
Yeah,
If I was there, I would have made you guys lift heavier than 5 kg dumbbells, though.
I
was doing 12 and a half at the start, but
I just want to carry on from what Krishna said. Yeah, I mean, definitely after that hit workout, it was Riz that gave us that little speech about being composed in like the chaos, and that was definitely like 100% accurate, because everyone's tired, everyone's going through the same pain, but just like the charts, just like life in general, you're going to go through a lot of downs, a lot of ups and downs, but you have to remain composed. And especially during that hit workout, we all had to make sure that we were still on top of our game, because we had the boxing next to do, and that's another point outside of our comfort zone that we had to make sure that we're still good to go with. And yeah, I mean, it was just a definite, the main takeaway for me was just that brotherhood, and understanding that there's more to life, or more to just trading, especially if you have a good community around you, good like-minded individuals around you to help push yourself, not just in the charts, not just in your trading performance, but in your physical activities as well. And yeah, that for me was a big takeaway, because I mean, at the end of the day, iron sharpens iron, right? And being around people that are going to push you, it's only going to improve you. So yeah, you're the average of the the 5 people that you're around, and being around these types of guys, it was definitely worth it. So that whole boot camp, the physical activities, I mean, even after the hit workout, the boxing, me and Paladin get into like a little arm wrestle competition. We were ready to do like press up competitions, just friendly competition, and that's what you need around you, but no, definitely very good experience, and definitely looking forward to the next one.
So who won the arm wrestling? I just saw one clip.
Yeah, it was literally I won 3, and then Paladin won 3, but I had 2 arm wrestles with Arman prior to it, so my arm was dead, but he managed to bring it back like Goggins.
Love that. Yeah, there's a lot of science behind, or like neuroscience behind working out in a team, like in terms of social interaction and bonding, because you have these neurotransmitters like oxytocin, dopamine, endorphins, and when these neurotransmitters are activated, they promote feelings of bonding, trust, cooperation, and so whenever you want to promote these, you want to be doing it with others, you want to be doing it with like-minded individuals, and that's what it's all about. Because on your own you can only reach so far, right? But together you can reach much further, and with trading it's so easy just to do it on your own, and that was kind of where I was at. Was just in my first 4 years, a lot of it was on my own. I had my cousin as well, but I was quite, at the time there was not really any communities that I felt were going to enhance me or make me a better trader, a better individual. But it wasn't until like 4 years in, when I was on a trading floor, other traders, that just leveled me up to another level, because I was probably the least experienced, least profitable in the room when I started, and then you work your way up. So I think that's really what it's about. So if you're out there listening and you're on your own, just there's plenty of communities out there. Well, not plenty, but there's a few. You got the communities, you got the boys here, different communities that you can be part of, and definitely reach out to and engage with the community. So for example, if you're struggling with your charts, post your charts. Even if you think you got it wrong, post and get feedback. If you're struggling with psychology, mindset, talk about it. Because if you just hold it in, if you bottle it in, that's gonna really affect you big time. So yeah, I think we definitely need more of these type of boot camps in the UK, in the US, in Europe. So I'd love to be doing retreats as well at some point. So yeah, definitely more is needed, 100%. So
can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
What was nice as well with the boxing, we had at the end we had each so we all had like partners, and then we had to switch partners and everything.
Oh yeah.
And then I had to fight against Krishna, and I know that like Krishna, he can box and everything. So I was like a bit scared because I know he was gonna hit me, and I was not used to getting hit. And we were talking about it, and at that time he said like it's just like trading, you know, you gotta take losses, you gotta take hits. So when you're facing someone, it's just like you gotta just accept it. So I would say for traders, get maybe into boxing or some martial arts just to like you're gonna get hit anyway. As soon as I got that, well, I'm not a good fighter, but like the movements and everything, they got a little bit better because I was accepting that okay, I'm gonna get hit by Christian anyway because he's a way better fighter than me. So that really helped me. Well, not help me, but made me realize and translated that to trading.
Yeah, bro. Go ahead, Osman. Go on, Noah.
Yeah, just quickly about what Rodrigo said about emotions, dopamine, and stuff. One of the biggest scam right now is that after all the energy, emotions was high this weekend, we are all going to face the drop off today, which is we're gonna get knocked out, tired, lazy, want to do nothing, and that's for me the biggest scam right now because you're gonna get fucked. And please listen to me on this. Usual, get back to work. Like it's like another Monday, like usual. Like we can't let our dopamine being at the lowest and get lazy and do nothing today. We can't do that. We need to get back to business again as usual, and get the routine. I said, even like I said to Reese this morning, yesterday, I said, yeah, we go back to gym today. Well, maybe physically we can't, but if we can, let's go. Otherwise, let's take one day off. But all the rest, which is trading, which is cool with students, which is doing YouTube videos, or do the work that you used to do, we need to keep we need to keep this going on. We can't do anything today. We can't be lazy. Otherwise, this is where we're gonna start to create some bad habits, and that's dangerous because the comfort zone is here, bro. Like I can tell you right now, I can go to the living room and just do nothing because I'm tired. But if I do that, I'm gonna start to be in my comfort zone. So we need to keep going right now. Even though we are all tired, we need to keep pushing.
Yeah, you almost have to pretend like you're still at boot camp, right? Like you have to take that positive momentum that you got and just know like I'm gonna keep pushing myself even if I'm tired today. Because if my friend was next to me, right, he's gonna be yelling at me like, even though you're sore, even though you're tired, we're going to the gym. It doesn't matter.
And it's Monday. What you gonna do? You're gonna sit down and do nothing on Monday. That will cause the rest of the week to be downwards. It needs to be upwards.
Yeah. One thing I think would be it's a great idea, and it in one of the groups that we're in, where we're all getting whoop bands, right? So if you get yourself together with some friends, I recommend getting a whoop band or some sort of exercise watch, and then tag each other, right? So that you create these league tables, so you know who's slacking, right? You know who's not burning the calories. You know who's not getting to bed on time, who's not waking up on time. You know who's drinking, you know, because you can tell by the stats. They'll tell you right away the difference. So I think that's another level of accountability using health data metrics, because you don't want to be the guy that's not burning the calories, not putting the work in. Yeah. And you don't want to be at the bottom of the table either, right? So that means you didn't work hard enough in the gym. So yeah, definitely utilize the technologies and the people around you. I think that's really, really important. So I'm going to start bringing in questions from the audience. So audience, those who are here live with us, we appreciate you guys. If you got any questions, I know there was a question that was just posted. If you can post that question again, that will start coming up in the chat. And if you got any questions to any specific speaker, just mention them by name, and they'll ask you that question. And if there's no questions, then I'll start asking everybody the questions. So it's a question from Nigu Dade. how to overcome break-even trading. Who would like to answer that?
I'll go then. No, everyone's just silence. But yeah, no, in terms of overcoming break-even moment in trading, if you mean like as in your stats are showing break-even, then I would say it's all about journaling. It all can be found in the data. A lot of the answers can be found in the data, because if you're at a point where you're finding yourself a break-even, it usually means that you've gone through the technical aspect to have an edge of some kind, or at least try to find an edge in the market. So it's not your technical side by that point. More than likely, is you need to look at your data. And that's why journaling is so important. A lot of people, it's a tedious task, you know, depending on how you do it. Because at this point now, because a lot of you guys have obviously been trading for a good few years now, so you guys will know what I mean, where now you have the options to have these automated journals, like TradeZella, for example, or any other of these automated journals that are coming up now. So you have so many options now to make it easier for yourself. Now, there is a negative of that, of course, which is that you can be lazy, right? It can just create laziness and therefore, not maybe be as powerful as actually manually journaling. So, there's people who use Excel sheets, for example. Excel sheets, for example. There's people who use just still pen and paper, for example, right? But journaling, because with that data, you'll be able to see, okay, where are the patterns in my trading, the positive patterns, the negative patterns. Your sole aim, maybe that's what's causing the break even. Another thing would be, though, and probably more importantly, a lot of people who find themselves at break even is because they're breaking their plan. They're breaking their edge. They're taking trades outside their edge. That then means that normally when they win a trade, it might be a trade that's actually outside their edge, or it is with their edge, but they're taking a lot of losses that are outside their edge, which brings them back down to break even. And again, that's another important reason why you need to journal, to be able to actually review. Well, actually, it's 2 points. So it's one to journal, but then to actually reflect on the journal, right? If you don't actually reflect on it, it's useless. Right? I know there's a lot of people who do that as well. They collect screenshots, create all these documents, never actually look at it. And so it's those 2 points, I would say. That would be my.
Yeah, we're all guilty of that. We're all guilty of that. So got another question here. That was a funny question posted, man. While you were speaking, Riz.
Sorry.
So
he wants to respond to that question.
Just stop being a little. I don't want to be rude. It's fine.
Little bitch. I can say it. A little bitch, man.
There's better stuff there's better stuff than anime wifey's thingy.
No comment. No comment.
So, all right, I'm going to start. There was a question by Azam. So, do any of you meditate to help with trading mindset? If so, what are your recommendations for techniques, etc.? So, who would like to answer that?
Yeah, I meditate before my trading as part of my morning routine. I do like a 5 to 10 minute meditation because I'm like a really, people say ADHD. I just have concentration problems, so I use it to really calm myself down before my trading. And then it's just 5 to 10 minutes. I put on some meditation music. Literally go to YouTube, put some meditation music, just focus on my breathing. So basic breathing: breathe in via your nose, and then breathe out via your mouth. Sorry, using your belly, basically, just normal breathing, and really be in that moment. Try to how do you say it? Shut out any thoughts and just focus on that breathing. That helps me a lot and then go on the charts.
Oh, thanks, Maurice. So got another question here. I highlighted it. So okay, so JCat, there's a question here for you. What do you think changed you from struggling trader to profitable trader?
It's hard to say because I've been trading for such a long time, but I think the biggest thing was just stop worrying so much about the outcome of the trade. Because if you're always worried about the market, if you're watching every tick, like, you're not going to be able to let your edge play out just because you're babysitting the trade. So I think the biggest thing for me was accepting the uncertainty of each trade, each individual trade, and just realizing that it's just a single data point in your equity curve. So like when you go back and study the past 6 months or the past 12 months, you're not even going to notice that one loss that you took, right? So you have to just think long term and stop worrying so much about each and every trade and stop putting so much weight behind a single trade idea.
Nice, nice. So got a question here for ads. So ads help my trading plan. Oh, okay. No, there's another question for ads. I can't find it now. All right, next question. I have. Oh, there it is. So ads. I am in his VIP channel where he shares 5 trade TPs. How to trade 5 TPs.
Yeah, so what I used to be in the past was a scalper. So I used to do breakout trading for about a year, and with breakout trading, the thing is with the risk to reward, it varies, and the thing is it occurs quite frequently during a London session. So with that, there's a lot of volatility, and what I like to do is just secure profits at around 2R, and when it hits 1R, I just go break even. And then if the trade flies because of volatility, it can hit up to usually 5 times the risk that we've put on, but usually it's around 2R. So it's a varied question. It varies.
Cool. All right, thanks for that. So let's see. Okay, I like this question from Bossman. How do you guys manage expectations? I find I'm trying to complete tasks in a day, and those days I fail to complete my task. I feel bad. Any usual swing to the negative side for a few days?
Honestly, this is one of the best questions I've seen in a while when it comes to the trading space and the trading community. And one thing I feel like it's important to understand when it comes to something like this is that, and I feel like this is something that people might understand already, but feeling overwhelmed or dealing with a situation where you're not being able to be as productive as you think, and not meet your expectations is usually a lack of organization, right? And even before that, when it comes to setting goals for yourself, the only way in which you can really set expectations for yourself that you can't meet is by taking steps that are too big, right? If you control and manage your expectations in a way where you build step by step, take small steps every single day, and then get to a point where how productive you can be in a day, exactly what's possible in a day and what's not. You're not really going to be in a situation, often at least, obviously there's exceptions, but you're not really going to be in a situation that often where you find yourself not being able to meet your own expectations, because first of all, that's the beauty of the trading space in the first place, is that you manage your own expectations, and you can control exactly what it is and how much it is you can get done in the day. And so if that's something you're struggling with, then really you need to reflect on yourself and have that awareness yourself, and take small steps to get to your goal rather than taking big, huge jumps, if that makes sense. And I know there's a lot more you can add to that as well, but that's one thing I would definitely say, is to manage your expectations and have small management steps every day.
Yeah, it's like
Just
are you just stepping up? Yeah, go on.
Sorry, just to add to Krishna's point, so he's spot on, right? But you need to be very realistic with your expectations as well, right? A lot of people, they take on too much in their life, they have too much load going on in their life, and then they wonder why they're not able trading. So the moment you start to be more realistic with your life and how you are as a person, the sooner you'll start to see some sort of growth in different parts of your life, right? I'm guilty of in the past where I would spend all my time trying to look at charts where I'm still working a job, I still have loads of responsibility things with family and whatnot, right? And then I wonder why I'm making no progress. So at the end of the day, set your goals and actions accordingly to your limitations you have at the time, and then eventually you'll see what works for you, what doesn't, and then you'll be able to allocate your time a lot better as you go forward in your journey. Sorry, that's just something I wanted to add.
Yeah, no, because I'm guilty of this as well. Just you really got to ask yourself: am I just stacking up things I want to complete, or am I really planning? I got to do this, this, and this today, or is it just 1,000 things you want to get done, and then you're not happy because you didn't get everything done because it's just way too much in one day?
And on a separate note, just to round that off, because I feel like there's multiple avenues in which you could thought process in which you could go down when talking about productivity and negative expectations and all the rest of it. Obviously, getting things done and managing expectations, I feel like that can pretty easily be understood. I feel like one thing that I want to pick up in that question is the fact that you kind of fall into a negative state of mind if you don't get everything done. And I feel like that's a very, very important part in which you need to pick up on also. And the reason I say that is because regardless of how much you get done, how much you don't get done, and your expectations and your checklist and this and that and the other, regardless of any of that, at the end of the day, I feel like the one emotion that needs to be leading and needs to be at the very forefront of your mind is a certain level of gratitude, right? And if you're struggling to kind of feel that, I feel like that should also be a focus point for your mindset, right? So the expectation side of thing and having realistic expectations, understood. Regardless of that, focus on feeling grateful and practicing gratitude for the things you do have, and that's ultimately gonna relegate any possibility of you feeling it or falling into a negative state of mind.
Yeah, I'm gonna add one more detail also into everything. Is that rather than doing your day based on task, manage to get some times to get some of your tasks done. What I'm saying by that is that rather than saying to myself, okay, I'm gonna do one video today, I'm gonna do my best in 1 hour to get this video done today. So maybe you can get it done in 30 minutes. Maybe you can get this done in 45 minutes. But the thing is that because you're not telling you're not telling yourself that these tasks need to be done today, you have no expectations. What all you are doing right now is just to be focusing on getting the task as much done as possible in a certain period of time, which is different. That's the way that I see, that's the way that I work. I don't have a to-do list of the thing that I need to do every single day. I have a to-do list of what I need to do during the week, but every day I have 3 hours for my students. I have 2 hours for the gym. I have 4 hours to do that. I have 1 hour to do that. And I do my best to get everything done in this period of time. And secondly, I have actually, it's in my back somewhere, but I have a book which is a productivity day, where basically in this book you can write it down, all the stuff that you need to do during the week, all the stuff you need to get done during the week, during the month, and during the day. And what people don't people don't see is the capacity of stuff that you can get done in a month or a week is incredible. So maybe you're gonna do nothing during the day, which is your focus right now. Oh, I've done nothing today, even though I've been working, I haven't done enough. You are underestimating what you can do after a week, what you can do after a month, what you can do after a quarter. So it's pretty important that first you keep a focus on the long term. Secondly, you cut the day based on time and not based on task, and have a book, a productivity book, where you can write it down, all the stuff that you need to do that will help you to achieve more goals. And mostly, as I ask you what's your age, I'm 32. So you said that you were 34. So we took life at a certain point because we are older than the others. So we have the endurance, we have the stamina, so we can go through it compared to the young age where they need to find out their stamina, where we are asking them to push to the limits. We know the limit, so we have the stamina. So yeah, keep going, man.
Yeah, these are some great responses, guys. Really enjoying it. Just a little bit conscious of the time because I know Riz needs to jump off. So final question for Riz. I mean, guys, once Riz leaves, you guys are welcome to stay because there's a lot of questions that that the audience would like answered. So Riz, you're going to be leaving in about 10 minutes or so. Mm-hmm. So just a couple of questions for you, and then afterwards we'll come back after the break and we'll continue with the questions because there's a lot of traders here that are asking you guys a lot of questions. So let's answer those. So Riz, this question from Alex. So what's the most important thing you've learned from interviewing so many traders, and what have they all got in common?
I've learned a lot. Someone asked me this question yesterday. I think someone asked me, what did they ask me? I think someone asked me, like, what's the biggest thing or what's your favorite guest? Something along them lines. And I struggled to answer because I've been literally, this is the first time really now, like this, probably from this week onwards, where I'm kind of home and settled and not really got much big things going on. Since the start of the year, I've been traveling a lot. So I've never had a chance to sit down and think about it too much. But in terms of the biggest thing they have in common, is that they all went through the same journey pretty much. Everyone went through the same journey. There's always slight differences in terms of how much they may have lost, how long it may have taken them, the thing they struggled with, whether it was technical, whether it was psychological. A lot of the time, psychology obviously comes into it, of course. But they all went through something. They all struggled. Everyone went through hardship, not only in trading, but in life as well. And that's the common theme. And that was kind of the whole purpose of the podcast in the first place, and still is to highlight the journey. And so in terms of what they have in common on the positive side, so that was, I guess, the negative side in terms of facing hardship, but on the positive side is they all are relentless. They all are consistent in their action. They all had to go pretty much through the same principles in terms of isolation, so like solitude, to really just focus on themselves and get away from the noise of social media or people around them, wherever it may be. A lot of them have strict routines, I would say, if not all of them, almost. But yeah, strict routines of sleep routine, whether it's a diet as well, gym, workout, family time, other businesses, whatever it may be. And they're very then focused on what their trading means to them and what they need to do when it's time to trade. Anything else that comes to mind? Yeah, that's it. And all of them don't worry about anyone else. All of them don't worry about another person's trading style. If another person's doing well or not. It doesn't bother them. They just focus on themselves. They are happy to converse with other traders, right? So it doesn't mean just because you have that mindset doesn't mean you don't talk to other traders. Of course, you talk to them, but they're just not bothered about if someone's showing an incredible return, etc. And as you've seen from the recent episode, I've learned that if people have a polarizing view, they will get, depending how they put it across, they'll get an interesting response.
Cool. So we got some more questions. Let's have a look. Okay, so there's a question here from, let's see, Saleha. How do you figure out what to prioritize throughout a working day?
I think. Oh no, go ahead, Riz.
Oh, so it's hard to prioritize. For me, it's just like knowing what you need to do that day. Yeah, so my days look a bit different. There's a bit of structure there in terms of like maybe calls, or especially if I have a podcast booked in. Other than that, my wife will randomly tell me about, oh, we need to do this, or I need to go there, or will you be able to come to this, to do, to play with the daughter, for example, wherever it may be. Other than that, in terms of prioritizing, it's just about what matters most to me. What is it, the important task for this day? I'm quite simple. So one thing I was going to throw onto the back of the earlier question as well was like, if you did your best that day, you tried your best and time just ran out, why are you going to feel bad? What more can you do? What are you going to do? You're not going to sleep? You're not going to sleep and keep going? Why would you feel bad? You've done your best. There's going to be days where you don't get as much done. Equally, there'll be days where you get more done and you feel amazing. Just don't give in to the feelings, honestly. For me, I've literally just been going day for day for the last year. And don't get me wrong, yeah, I know what I'm doing for the week, but I just go day to day, make sure I do my best for that day, move on to the next day, and just let that accumulate. So in terms of prioritizing, it's the same principle. As long as you have your list of tasks, and if one or two of them are more important for you to get done as a priority, then prioritize them. But if they're just like equally as important, then just make sure you get them all done, do your best to get them done, and keep moving forward. I try not to put too much pressure into, oh my goodness, this has to be done here, or oh look, Noah, you got to sign up now, Jake.
Noah's getting commission.
That's it. Yeah. But I try not to put too much weight into it. Yeah, if I have a particular task that needs to get done at this particular time on this particular day, then obviously that's a priority. It has a time limit on it, if you will. But if it doesn't have a time limit and is kind of equally as important, I'll just make sure it gets done. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
I think it's as well like if you got have like task like a business task and reading a book, what you gonna do first? Well, first you gotta do the business, right? Because that's what's compounding. Book as well, like it gives you knowledge, but what's bringing you revenue, that's more important, at least if you ask me. So that's what you're gonna do first in terms of prioritizing the things that compound, and then the things that add to that after.
100%. All right. So next question. Ads, what are the best psychology tips to stay composed during trading or during
Yeah,
trades?
so with staying composed during trades, I think that just comes from your strategy and backtesting it, and actually having a journal and data-driven statistics to give you the proof and the belief that your system works. Without that, you're going to be, nervous, anxious when you're in a trade. So, like Rodrigo said at the start, which I think Riz, sorry, at the start was journaling your trades. It's one of the biggest parts of trading. You're not going to have that belief in your system if you don't have the data to prove that it works. And another main tip that I've come across in sort of the recent months when it comes to my trading edge is just understanding my personality as a trader. So if I'm maybe a day trader or an intraday trader at heart, then I can't really be a scalper. I can't really be doing swing trading, because if I'm a intraday trader at heart, then I am going to be nervous in a scalping position. I am going to be nervous when I'm swinging a position. So yeah, I think the main thing is to figure out what your trading personality is first, and then find a strategy to match that personality really with that strategy. So yeah, that's the main thing to do there.
Nice. All right. And we got a question here. Actually, I'll have a question for Riz. So Riz, what have you found has been like the most common trait of the traders that actually don't make it, or they struggle, or they quit? Like what kind of things are they doing or what kind of things are they not doing? And why, why? Because trading is difficult, right? So in your experience, why what are these traders doing wrong exactly?
Well, the first common one is that they aren't actually interested in trading for trading. They're interested in trading because they think, okay, I'm going to get a lot of money from trading, and then I'm finally going to be able to do X, Y, and Z, like real estate. That's what I want to do, but I don't have the capital. So let me get into trading because I saw online that so and so said it's easy, or I can just follow this guy's signals, or I can do whatever whatever way they got into it, or it's been marketed. So they don't actually like trading. They don't have the skill, the love for the skill of trading, not the trading itself, not the money itself, but the skill of trading. And don't get me wrong, I know the biggest argument when people say that or hear that is, oh, but we all want money. It's true, yeah, but we don't do things for free, right? We don't do things just because we don't want any benefit out of it, of course, but it has to be backed by some form of passion or love for the skill. Otherwise, how are you going to get over the hardships? How are you going to embrace when you struggle or lose? It's going to have to fall back onto something else, right? If it's the money all the time, then every time you lose, all you're going to do is build resentment at the fact that you've lost more money, right? When you're trying to do this to get more money. So instead, you're losing more money. So that's the biggest one, is that they're not in here with the right intention, with the right passion behind it. Because otherwise, because let's say real estate is a prime example, right? Because if you are interested in real estate and you don't have the capital to do it at the level you want to do it, so like buy and rent and or flip the real estate or property, then there are ways you can get into it, right? There are ways you could deal source, for example. So you find a good deal and you sell that deal to an investor, and then you just make a little markup, and then that's how you can build your capital slowly. And there's people who do that and make 6 to 7 figures a year, just do deal sourcing, right? So if your passion's actually into real estate, for example, then that's what you should do. Go into real estate and find a way to build yourself up and build income from that. So that's just an example in terms of the skill. The other thing is financial foundation. A lot of people are just broke, and it might not be their fault, right? It might be because of where they're from. It might be because of mitigating circumstances, but they're broke. And you need to put a focus on not being broke and building your financial stability and literacy first. because trading is all around money, as we talked about. And what does money bring? When, especially in sort of the gambling aspect of trading, especially in the beginning, you have to control yourself, right? And that control and that emotional intelligence won't be there straight away, of course. So you need to be able to handle that with your financial foundation, having your cash buffers, for example. They're two key things. And the other thing is just literally consistency in terms of their actions, right? A lot of people, unfortunately, I've seen it. And I was one of these people, no doubt. And probably some of you guys will be able to relate, of just, turning up, doing the work for a period of time, maybe a few weeks, maybe a month, maybe a couple months, as in watching videos, watching content, practicing, back testing, journaling, whatever it may be. And then you slip up. As a human being, you slipped up, you made a big mistake, which you shouldn't have made, but you needed to learn it. But instead of actually just going back to it, then taking it on board and going back to it and trying to push yourself and stay consistent, you then took 2 or 3 months off, right? And then you do the same thing over and over again. And by now, 3 years have gone by. And now you're telling people, I've been trying for 3 years, but in reality, you've actually tried for maybe 9 months, if you added up the time you actually trying to do it. And that's the biggest one right now. No, I'm gonna beat you up now. I'm gonna beat you up. I saw that, mate. Yeah, you're dead. You're dead. We have a pact, yeah, and he's broken it on day one. Just
Wait.
knows it.
Wait, a second. You also did a pact. You also did a pact about the shisha.
Yeah, exactly. It's day one today.
We start today.
Yeah, no, don't try that. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So like, it's consistency, because at the end of the day, and this is where things like the boxing and the whole boot camp comes into it. Is in trading, you're going to face adversity. It's going to be chaos. And you're going to, especially in your learning journey, but just generally as you are a full-time trader as well, you're going to constantly be in the face of chaos. There will be days as you built yourself up, though, in terms of being full-time, just like if you train boxing for 5 years, for example, where when you're sparring or ready to fight, you're going to be calmer. It doesn't mean you're going to be absolutely zen, but you're going to be much calmer. You're going to be able to control your breath a lot more. You're going to be able to know when to defend and when to attack. You're still going to be in the chaos, but you're going to be able to handle it. And it's the same with the trading. While when you're learning, you're going to have to embrace that chaos. If you get scared every time you face some chaos and some adversity and you go and take a step back for a huge chunk of time, you're just prolonging your journey, right? And a lot of people, unfortunately, that is their journey. It's constant. And there will be no end unless you fix those key things that I just mentioned, because otherwise that's that same, and essentially you're just a gambler then, unfortunately. And that's why I always say to people, think about it. If you've been doing that for a good few years, step back and reflect on that. Reflect on the fact of, do you actually enjoy the skill? Because if not, get out of trading. If you do you have the financial stability? If not, stop trading, right? Until you have it. And if you aren't willing to face the chaos, get out of trading, because you're not going to be able to do it. But if you are willing to recognize that, okay, I like the skill, great. I don't have the financial foundation. Okay, let me get to work on that whilst I do my technicals and my practice and watching content. I'll build my savings up, get that ready, right? So then I can start to trade down the line. I'll be ready to trade down the line because I've done the data, I've done all that work in the meantime. If let's say you have the financial foundation and the skill, you love for the skill, and now it's just about you being consistent. Stay consistent, right? You'll make mistakes, no problem. Why is it no problem? If you learn from them. If you keep making the same mistake, that's why you have to stay at it and be journaling, and not only journaling the data, but journaling your thoughts and stuff, so you can reflect on these things. And again, back to earlier, difference between collecting the journal and that data and then reflecting on it. But if you're able to do that, you will progress. If you work at something every single day for, I say 6 months, you'll see some progress, but let's say a year, you can guarantee yourself progress, not results in terms of like profitability. I can't sit here and say you do 1 year's worth of work and you will have 10% a month guaranteed on your trading wise. No, but what I can say to you is if you do 1 year's worth of work properly, you will guarantee to progress. You're guaranteed to progress, right? And if you keep doing that and compound that over even longer, you will guarantee to progress. And the likelihood and chances in terms of statistics of you being successful is going to be very, very high. But yeah, that wraps me up.
Fantastic, guys. I just want to say thank you very much to the SFT team for organizing the trader event. I want to thank every single one of you for today. Every single one of you dropping bombs, Riz right at the end, dropping gems. And yeah, I want to thank my co-host JCap Effects for helping me out. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. We didn't get through all the questions, but we're going to wrap things up. And if you want to reach out to any of the guys here in the panel, there's links in the description below. And want to once again thank everyone here. I can't wait for the next boot camp. And yeah, definitely keep me in mind when you organize that. I'll definitely come down. And so, guys, once again, thank you. And the next Trader Roundup will most likely be Funded Fridays with JCap FX. And until then, stay disciplined, stay focused, follow the advice of the panelists. And look, guys, if you need any help, reach out to any one of us, and we'll be more than happy to give you that support.
Yeah,
thanks, everyone.
Get your ass in the gym today.
That's it.
Yeah.
Who's gonna carry the boats?
You know me, son.
All right. Take care, guys.
Take care.
Cheers, guys. See you later. Have a good one.
Take care.
Bye.